Okay, this is by no means a deep dive into the Russell Brand case, but I thought I'd just pick up on this little detail about this. I have no idea whether or not this is anything important at all, but it said in 2020, the woman contacted Brand's literary agent at the time, who was also the co-founder of talent agency Tavistock Wood. She said she never heard back from the agent about her allegations, but did hear back from Brand's lawyer. The agency have now cut ties with the comedians following the latest allegations. They said in a statement, Russell Brand categorically and vehemently denied the allegation made in 2020, but we now believe we were horribly misled by him. TW has now terminated all professional ties to Brand. Right, so this is bizarre, okay, but this person who I know who concocted this this fake news story about this member of the band JLS, Jethro Thompson. I might write about this actually. I might do a full expose on Jethro Thompson, Tavistock Wood, and like just the various little inconsistencies of what his behaviour, Jethro's behaviour in all this, and well, not in this necessarily. Well, yeah, maybe in this. I mean, he would have been, Jethro, by the way, personally, would have been the first point of contact for these accusations about Russell Brand. I know that. He's, the little Nork manning the phones in Tavistock Wood. He's like the gatekeeper before the gatekeeper, isn't he? He's the assistant agent, right? He's the whipped bitch on the manuscripts at the front desk. the snivelling toe rag out of Cambridge with not nearly enough ambition really to. But like, would Jeffro just sit on this story and then try and sell it off to the media personally? If he's willing to do this for a band member in JLS with this pregnancy issue back in, it must have been 2010 now, I suppose. Trying to concoct a pregnancy or pregnancy scare or something of that nature that never happened, on a burner phone, when like the pregnancy of the band member of JLS like almost certainly didn't happen. It was almost certainly an end-to-end fabrication between him and Martha Whiting, who is the daughter of Jeff Whiting, who was a writer on Kingdom, which was the detective show with Stephen Fry in it. And then there's another kid involved, and this all connects to like I got mixed up with these fucking scum anyway when I was at school with them. And then there's like Barney Goodall, the nephew of Adrian Goodall, is it? Who wrote the the QI soundtrack? Is it? Yeah. And like one or two like media-ish celebrity connections in the sort of milieu there, and a whole host of very strange things that have happened in my life since. But by no means about me. I guess this is more about Russell Brand at the moment. I want to read this whole article, or just read bits of it. One ex-girlfriend Brand's wrote about the relationship in One ex-girlfriend of Brand's wrote about their relationship in her 2014 book. She claimed that she was sexually assaulted by Brand and that he had been emotionally and physically abusive towards her during their time together. In one incident, Brand allegedly became angry. Well, why haven't we heard about it since 2014 then? She had spoken to an ex-boyfriend. She ripped apart her phone. She claimed on another occasion she said Brand made her brush her teeth until her gums bled so she would taste anonymous to him. Sounds certainly incredibly bizarre, but I don't know. In a video posted ahead of the Times investigation, the 48-year-old said he received two extremely disturbing letters from both the newspaper and Channel 4 with a detailed listing of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks on which he denied. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. He said, as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were always consensual. In terms of what's been raised about Brand's behaviour during his time as a Channel 4 presenter, two former crew members working on a spin-off Big Brother claim they were asked to approach young female audience members so that Brand could meet them after filming. One runner claimed that Brand had flashed her in his dressing room, but that she felt she was unable to tell anyone for fear of losing her job. Okay. Things about Brand's behaviour allegedly reported back to managers of the production company. However, a spokesperson for the company said no records of the complaints could be found. One woman told the paper that a meeting had taken place at Channel 4 in late 2013 or early 2014, in which Brand was considered as a host for a show. Concerns about his behaviour were raised, and it was reported because female staff could be taken off TV crew. Spokesperson for Channel 4 said they were appalled to learn of these deeply troubling allegations, including behaviour alleged to have taken place on programmes made for Channel 4 between 2004 and 2007. Like, on one level, when it comes to, well, again, I mean, with any kind of accusations such as these raised by people who are working on Channel 4 shows, that Russell Brand may not even be their true target. They might be just trying to, like, shake the tree that is Channel 4, see if any money falls out of it. You don't know. A spokesperson for Channel 4 said they reports, read that, we carried out extensive document searches and found no evidence to suggest that the alleged incidents were brought to the attention of Channel 4. Brown became known as on the comedy circuit during the early 2000s as a stand-up comedian performing at the Hackney Empire and the Edinburgh Fringe. He surged to fame as host of Big Brother. Bloody hell, sorry. A fucking pop-up, and now I've lost the bit where I was. He surged to fame, however, hosted Big Brother's Big Mouth, began to host radio programs on XFM, BBC Six Music, before being granted a 2-hour slot on BBC Radio 2. His career was often marred in scandal, however. He left the BBC in 2008 after he... This is interesting. This Jonathan Ross thing with Andrew Sachs. Jonathan Ross left offensive voicemail messages to actor Andrew Sachs, which alluded to a sexual relationship with his granddaughter. Known as Saxgate. Yeah, this was huge. I should have picked up on this as well. This Saxgate thing. That was huge at the time. Jonathan Ross got fired. No, Jonathan Ross was allowed to stay on, I think, wasn't he? But Russell Brand got fired, and Andrew Sachs was really upset by some offensive, though prankish, phone calls left on his answering machine. And actually, I remember, like, I liked Russell Brand a lot before that. I was a big fan of Russell Brand before this Andrew Sachs incident. But actually, it was like after that, like I thought, like, well, that's fucking like stupid. Why are you doing that? That's ridiculous. I was sort of like I lost patience with him, like, a bit after that, I think, and I steadily started to like him less. I mean, really, it wasn't even this that, like, turned me off Russell Brand. It was all the kind of revolutionary stuff that was going on later on with him. And, yeah, but that was a stupid thing to have done. Like, why wouldn't all this stuff have come out then? Stuff about sexual assaults and rape is like, no. Like, this is what I'm tempted to say about people whose celebrity is of the nature of Russell Brand. Like, 2006, like, he's a neophyte celebrity. Like, he's just, like, raised his head above the parapet. He was going around straight away sexually assaulting 16-year-olds, sexually assaulting teenagers just as soon as he's secured Big Brother's Big Mouth, basically. Like, he didn't go, like, straight to national treasure. I don't think anyone does. I don't think he's a national treasure even now. Like, what he is, he's an A-lister, but he's at the low end of the A-list. He's not a very important celebrity, I wouldn't have said. He's not Bill Cosby. He's not Robin Williams or anything like this. Propelling him to further fame, a BBC spokesperson said, as is well known, Russell Brand left the BBC after a serious editorial breach in 2008. This is it. As did the then controller of Radio 2. Circumstances of the breach were reviewed in detail at the time. Then he hopes to demonstrate that the BBC takes issues seriously and is prepared to act. Well, presumably they do when there's evidence. Because on the level, the Andrew Sachsgate thing is like that. There's clear and undeniable evidence that Andrew Sachs was being harassed in his home by Russell Brand. Is it very serious what he did? Like, the thing is, if it occurred like outside the media, it would not be taken very seriously. It would be a kind of a slap on the wrist sort of issue, and like, but like the way that like celebrity culture kind of is, we expect them all, I think, to be like whiter than white and squeaky clean on every single conceivable level. I'm supposed to be almost like godlike, saint-like figures or some shit like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's like, what do I think about it? What was I like that fucking Andrew Sachs shit? Like, yeah, like I'd be annoyed as Andrew Sachs, or would I? Or did Andrew Sachs actually kind of like have a good humor about it? But it was people phoning in and complaining. So all this fucking shit, I can't stand. I can't stand the idea of it. I'm probably well. I still want to be a comedian. That's the thing. Even when this goes on, when like these accusations, like they could have come out in 2008. The women didn't feel they could come forward. It is the same fucking thing. And I've had to gather evidence on my own back of domestic violence and sexual assaults having occurred in my life towards myself. Because I know the police would do nothing about it. However, irrespective of that, I still went to the authorities. Still went through the process, then gathered evidence, then doxed people on the internet. So yeah, and then there's this incident of an attempt on my life in 2014, which involved a police officer. And like, what evidence can I gather about that? That's not going to get expunged or like otherwise queered by the police or like eradicated by the police. When I reported that to the police in 2015, they planted drugs on me and locked me in a psychiatric hospital. So the guilt there is clear, it's obvious, but I mean, and I suspect Jeffrey Thompson has something to do with it. Yes, I do. I don't. It could come down to that little oily rat alone. It really could. And I'm trying to like gather together 4 or 5 unscrupulous women who want to be complicit in trying to take down Russell Brand for a boat ton of cash. It could be that obvious. I need to investigate this a lot more thoroughly, I think.